Alright, chat. I'm a little unhinged today, so I decided we're doing a f***ing fast food tier list. Because, I like being a guy who stirs up the chaos, I like just watching things burn. So, it's time to let my opinions be known. I mean, here's half the stuff that, I haven't had just because, I'm a basic bitch. I like what I like. That's not the point. We're just here to be controversial. That's what I'm all about. But, here's our tier list. We have the top of the top. We feastin'. That's our S tier, our God tier, It doesn't get much better than this. Next, our A tier, pretty bussin'. Below that we have, it's alright. After that we have pure midness. It doesn't get more mid than this. And below that we got one time for the one time, I had it once. Nothing really to speak about. After that we got our bold and brash, more like belongs in the trash. S, A, B, C, D, F. You get the gist. Let's just jump into this. I don't like having long ass videos. Alright, starting off with Arby's. Not much that needs to be said there. Alright, next, Burger King. I'm gonna be honest. Pure midness. It's alright. For a place that's called Burger King, their burgers, they're pretty ass if you ask me. Their breakfast, it's aight. It's no Mackey's breakfast, but we'll get there. Alright, next, Raising Cane's. Pretty Nah, I'm gonna have to put it pretty bussin'. I'm tempted to put it at We Feastin', but it's not an everyday kind of thing. None of this should be an everyday kind of thing. It's one of my tops, but I wouldn't put it at We Feastin' just because, I have a couple other things to talk about. Carl's Jr., it's alright. It's better than Burger King, but that's about it. That's not saying much. They need to bring this back. They had the Western Bacon Cheeseburger, once. And that was my go-to for a while, and then they got rid of it, and now I haven't gone back. The Star Chicken Nuggies though, bro. They don't taste like anything, but just the fact that they're in star shape, it adds a level of magic to it. Alright, next, Chick-fil-A, bro. We feastin'. Chick-fil-A, they know what works. I know that they don't treat their employees that well or whatever, there's something, but we're just talking about the food. I don't care about the ethics. This is America after all. Chick-fil-A, top of the top for me. In terms of chicken, it's that and Cane's, some of the best. Next, Chipotle. Oh, this is about to be controversial. I'm gonna be honest. Pretty mid. Chipotle is never something I go to. Now, you want to talk about true Mexican food, Del Taco. I'm gonna be pretty harsh. I'll put it, it's alright. It is kind of my go-to. Nah, I can't do that. It's pretty bussin'. It is pure shit packed into tortillas and burgers and whatnot. I personally think it's better than Taco Bell, but again, we'll get to that later. Alright, Denny's. I don't think it belongs in the trash, but one time for the one time. And I've been there more than once, but it's a Denny's. It's only good for moshing. Alright, Domino's. Pretty bussin'. I'd say out of all the takeout pizza joints, it's definitely the best. I don't think it's We Feast. Nah, it's We Feastin'. Anytime we go into parties or whatnot, if they don't have the Domino's, it's a shit party. Alright, Dairy Queen. Since we're doing the fast food side of it, now ice cream though, I would say, yeah, it's pretty bussin', but since we're doing fast food, nah, belongs in the trash. If you're ordering fast food from Dairy Queen, it's pretty down bad. El Pollo Loco, or El Poco Loco, as a lot of people call it. One time for the one time. It's not trash. There's some good things about it, but chicken, pretty ass. Anytime anyone in my family is bringing home El Pollo Loco, I'm just like, looks like we're starving tonight. It is pretty much the definition of struggle food. Firehouse subs. I'm not much of a sub guy. I would say it's pretty mid. The one time. Nah, it's one time for the one time, because I'm pretty sure I've only had it one time. Five Guys. We feastin'. Or, I don't know, pretty bussin' actually. I haven't been having it as much lately. First time I had it, DC trip, middle school, changed my life. And then found out we had one locally. And then I started having it pretty consistently, and then I got bored of it. Now that I'm starting to have it only every once in a while, it's still pretty bussin'. IHOP, belongs in the trash. If I put Denny's at one time for the one time, it has to be lower than Denny's. It's only rich white guys and their Sunday family going to IHOP. It's nothing to speak of. The thing they're known for, their pancakes, it's always dry as fuck. Just like my DMs. Alright, next, In-N-Ussy. We feastin'. As a West Coast resident, Whataburger, I've never had it. It'll never beat In-N-Ussy. Jack in the Crack, it's right here in my brain. It's in between bussin' and alright. I'm gonna have to be harsh. It's alright at the end of the day. A lot of their shit, it's pretty good. I literally could walk to a Jack in the Box down the street from me. It mainly is like end of the night, you didn't want to eat anything at the family gathering, so you just hit the Jack on the way back. They have pretty good chicken strips. Their shakes are pretty good. I really love their Oreo shakes. I'm lactose now, unfortunately, but I can still enjoy it with a little bit of lactase. We're on a little bit of a sub grind. Jersey Mike's, I would say it's all right. Out of all the subs that I've had, it's probably the best. I like when they do it Mike's way. Jimmy John's, midness. I would say, yeah, this about sums it up. Jersey Mike's, Jimmy John's, Firehouse, and then we'll get to Subway later. KFC. For the meme, I want to put it up here. But in reality, I'm gonna have to put it down here. One time for the one time. Now, this is pretty much struggle food. If it needs to be done, it'll be done. Their sides, pretty good. Chicken, it's rough. Little Caesars. Little Caesars, it can be pretty good on the right kind of day. It's no Domino's. I'm putting it at, I mean, it's all right. Definitely not the best of the best. But again, I also have a Little Caesars I could walk to down the street. Every once in a while, if it's like, I want pizza, but I don't want to pay like a bunch for takeout, you know, get the $5. They don't do the extra most bestest anymore, which is sad. Long John Silver's. Talk about just food poisoning on a plate. I had Long John Silver's once as a kid. It was right across from the Mackey's because I was just like, you know what? I keep seeing the Long John Silver's. Let's go to it. I go to it and I'm just crying as a child because it's just like, I could have gone to Mackey's instead. The last thing you want is fast food involved with fish. But speaking of Mackey's, oh man. My opinion of Mackey's has changed over the years. But anytime someone's just like, you want to do a Mackey's run? Nowadays, I'm like, yes. It's because, like, you know, I have it very sparingly. I try to have fast food as sparingly as possible. It's like the only ones that I consistently, like, have on a monthly basis is, like, Chick-fil-A, Cane's, and some In-N-Out. I try not to have it often, but Mackey's, we gotta put it at We Feast. And who am I kidding? Mackey's is Mackey's, man. They know what they doing. Those just golden Archies, man. It's just, it sucks me in. Panda Expressy. I mean, it's alright. Like, really, that is Panda. When you're eating it fresh, it's really good. It's not something that you should eat or, like, have leftovers for. I mean, that's most fast food, to be fair. I mean, no, like, there's fast food places where it's just, like, even the next day, like, obviously, it's not as good as when you initially have it, but it's the same. Pickup Sticks isn't on here. Pickup Sticks, I would put it pretty bussin'. Panera Bread. Their mac and cheese is to die for. Again, lactose, can't really have it anymore. Their broccoli cheddar soup, pretty good. But at the end of the day, pretty mid. One of my first dates was at a Panera Bread. That probably associates to the ranking, but it's never something that I'm thinking of. I mean, to be fair, their flatbreads that they've recently come out with are pretty good, but it's still pretty mid. I never think about it when I'm hungry. Papa John's. Yeah, belongs in the trash. Papa John's. When I think of I want pizza, it's never in the brain. Like, pretty much when I think of I want pizza, it's always Domino's or Little Caesars or California Pizza Kitchen, but that's not on this list. Pizza Hut. It's not much better. I would put it one time for the one time. I mean, the school I went to always has Pizza Hut, just like in these like tins and whatnot. It is the soggiest, grossest thing, and that pretty much has ruined Pizza Hut for me. I mean, Pizza Hut wasn't that good anyway, but it's a little bit better than Papa John's, but it's only one time for the one time. Popeyes. Might be a little controversial, but I mean, that's why I'm doing this. Popeyes is pretty bussin'. Again, it's not an all the time. It's not as good as Chick-fil-A, but whenever I'm like by a Popeyes, I'm always just like, might as well. The lines, drive-through is always pretty long, but I mean, their chicken sandwiches are pretty good. Their sides, the Cajun mashed potatoes.
It blended so seamlessly in with the story.
For Thanksgiving, we tried the Popeyes turkey. It was all right. It was, if you had skin on it, you could really tell it was Popeyes. But other than that, it was all right. Kind of needed some sauce to go with it. It's pretty dry, but Portillo's. I don't have this often. Their chocolate cake shake is to die for. They're just like a basic sandwich place. I mean, the chocolate cake shake, we feastin', but I mean, it's kind of mid at the end of the day. The sandwiches are nothing to really write home about. Next, Sonic. Sonic is an acquired taste. I also have a Sonic pretty close to me. I haven't had it within the last year, which is pretty sad. Anytime I do get it, I'm reminded that I'm gonna put Sonic at pretty bussin'. I mean, again, I haven't had it in a while, but every time I do get it, It's pretty good. Every time they come out on those skates and whatnot, every once in a while you get the one that eats shit. If it's like, you know, close to midnight and you're with the boys, you know, you drive into the Sonic, you have some good grub. It's a vibe. Alright, the last sub one on the list. Subway. Pretty controversial, but again, that's why we're doing this. One time for the one time. I don't think Subway is all that good. Again, I'm not much of a sub guy anyway. Like, I'm not much of a build your own kind of thing. I kind of like it when it's just, here's the pre-made thing, you order it, you can order it with or without some things. I mean, Subway, every time I've had it, it's whatever. Their meatball subs are fine. Again, I've had a couple dates at a Subway. Again, that probably associates to why I put it so low. Alright, Taco Bell. I mean, it's alright. Again, I've also had a couple dates at a Taco Bell. I need to stop with that. Taco Bell, I mean, you go to it knowing that the shits are gonna be glorious afterwards. The Crunchwrap Supremes, the Queso Burritos, the Baja Blast. You know, you got the classics there, but at the end of the day, I never think of it. I go to Del Taco before anything else. It's fine. Waffle House belongs in the trash. Wendy's? Nah, fam. We feasting on the Wendy's. Again, I don't have Wendy's nuts very often. Whenever you have the Baconator cheeseburger, they got rid of the 4 for $4. Now it's the 4 for $5. But, you know, those were the glory days, and they still are. It sucks as an extra $1, but you know what? It kind of ends up being an extra $1 anyway because of tax and whatnot. But so it's technically like a 4 for $6 or $7. The Frosties, the everything. We feasting on the Wendy's. White Castle. Only had it once. That's all I needed to know that I never need to go to a White Castle ever again. I had it once, like, on a trip coming back from Vegas. There's nothing else for miles. Might as well stop at the White Castle. I mean, the fries, the potatoes are alright. I fancy, like, when they chop the potatoes and it's just a potato slice deep fried. But the burgers, pure ass. I was lucky that I didn't suddenly get the shits, like, while we were driving. But White Castle, I'm amazed that anyone goes to it. Wiener Schnitzel, pretty bussin'. Of the fast food hot dogs, it's some of the best glizzies I'll ever have, fast food wise. I think Five Guys definitely has the best, but you're going for the glizzies, you know? You can like customize your glizzy. The soft serve vanilla ice cream is easily the best I've ever had. In terms of glizzies, pretty bussin' glizzies. Now last on the list, we got the Wingstop. Pretty bussin'. I would not put it at feastin'. The ranch is to die for. The voodoo fries are amazing. The wings, again, are good in moderation. The best boneless wing takeout or sit down place ever is B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. Again, it's not a fast food place technically. I mean, it's definitely not fast. Wingstop, it's pretty bussin', but only every once in a while because it's pretty heavy. But again, the fries, the ranch, the voodoo fries especially, pretty top notch. Alright, this was my unhinged tier list. Enjoy it. Look at it. Be triggered. I don't care. I felt like being controversial today. Why not? I don't. Again, taste is taste. Everyone's taste is different in some regard at the end of the day. I felt like doing a tier list. It's easy content. It's easy to, like, you know, talk about and whatnot. Let me know what you thought about all this and whatever. Do your own tier list. Send it to me, whatever. Let's have some controversial discussions. Thank you all for joining me on this. I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.